We're getting on the Army of the Dead train this week,
Yes.
as everybody's been doing their reviews, but we and I have a nice twist. We do a film analysis. So we're going to have some pretty cool things to talk about Army of the Dead.
Let's do it.
Following a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, a group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble, venturing into the quarantine zone to pull off the greatest heist ever attempted. All right. Give me some thoughts. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I like just overall in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I did.
Did you?
I did not go into it expecting it to be this like Academy Award winning whatever.
Right.
It's Zack Snyder, it's zombies, it's Dave Bautista, it's fun, and as long as you have that in your mind, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a popcorn movie. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
You're sitting down. It's easy to poke holes in a film like this, and you can sit there and write a huge blog article about poking holes in these types of films. What I think is Zack Snyder is a visionary. I think he's been ahead of his time, actually, since Sucker Punch. I think with Sucker Punch was huge, and minus the fact that women were objectified. Like, take that out, that doesn't age well.
Yeah.
But everything else he was doing visually super cool.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that. I feel like the world is catching up to his vision now.
Sure. Yeah.
And Army of the Dead is cool. I mean, people were complaining about the shallow field of view he used with his camera. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, from a filmmaking perspective, I know why I kind of understand what the direction was going for it.
Yeah.
Or doing it that way. It's to really, I don't know. I don't mind it because I know that that's kind of how that's his vision, and that's just the direction and the style he does.
Yeah, he was talking about he's a DP at heart, man. He's a cinematographer, right? That's how he started. So the guy thinks he sees visually. Now, what I really thought about this that was cool was that he was the guy behind the camera. He had the camera on his shoulder. He was filming everything, and I think that is a treat to be able to see that, because you are seeing exactly how he wants you to see every shot. I thought that was super cool. Now you can get into like f-stops and adding depth of field and all of that stuff, but I think he wanted this shallow perspective because it actually adds a layer of claustrophobia and mystery around every single shot.
Yeah. And that's what it does in any kind of film when you go in that direction.
Yeah.
Is it really kind of closes in that view for the audience. And it's so, and in this, I think it worked too, because even though there's just this, you get the sense that there's this huge space they have to get through with all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You're so tensed in that that's kind of the feel he wants to create.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you're in supposedly in Vegas, and you're outside in the desert, and you feel like, Jesus, man, I just feel really close in. And I think it really works. And then seeing how like the zombie queen had to come into frame from being blurred, I thought that was so cool. It's a really neat way to accentuate a character, having them come into frame and having like slowly come out of frame. With any other type of camera, that shot would not work.
Yeah. But it's also a is this really what I'm seeing? Because, you know, for us, it's like, are we ever going to see something like that? What would we feel, or how would that look if we saw something like that? And so that's giving that perspective of, this is the first time some of these guys are seeing.
Yeah.
They've seen the zombies, but not like this.
Yeah.
And so that's what that shot creates.
I thought it was really cool. Now, concept wise, a zombie heist film hasn't been done before. So, I mean, you're already starting off pretty original. So that was
like
cool.
Ocean's 11. I want to do Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
But hear me out. I want zombies in it. Like, that's just how it went. Right.
And I think they were smart to say yes. Now, thematically, there was some about family. There was some about was regret in there, right? A lot of regret of loss, and then a lot of misunderstanding between, you know, generational misunderstandings between father, daughter, and things like that. So that stuff was good. Was it heavy-handed? No. Was it thin? It was kind of thin. But in a movie like this, what do you expect?
Yeah, and you know, the interesting thing too, though, is that the driving force of pretty much what ends up being essentially the big roadblock at the end is him going to get his daughter. Spoilers for anybody.
Well,
so yeah, even though it's like it was very thin, it's a pretty heavy thing to put for it to be that crux right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what I really liked about that theme is that they worked it into the zombies, and I thought that was cool. I haven't seen that since I Am Legend, where they were truly trying to humanize those creatures.
Absolutely.
And they were doing that here to the point, you know, more spoilers, but you know, the queen was pregnant with, I don't know, some space zombie alien baby that glowed.
I have questions about it, but yes, continue.
So I thought that's great. That's awesome. You're utilizing a subplot to reinforce a theme. That's what we want to do.
Sure.
And then it humanizes him, and it makes him feel like he's just a guy trying to rule his little corner of the world. And then these people come in and are trying, and they kill his wife. So
yeah,
I think that worked out really well. My issue I had is falls in the classic trap of, we have resolved our internal conflict, let's kill the character.
Yeah. I know, but I don't know.
Yeah, that was my one big gripe, because usually in films like this, they resolve the internal conflict, you know, the death is coming. And that happened every single time. I think the way he tried to do it was instant, like resolve that conflict. Her head's broken and her clavicle pops off, and in almost comedic fashion. And I couldn't tell if that was deliberate or not. But that's definitely where we went with it.
I mean, it's really turning it on its head, like literally, right?
You got me on that one. I didn't even think of it that way. That's absolutely right. So yeah. So we've got that. The supporting cast is great. I thought the characters were very interesting. I liked watching the characters grow. The gentleman who had the chainsaw and the safecracker, I loved their relationship because it was aggressive, but then they came together.
They came together. I mean, I think that was a little more dynamic and interesting to me than even his relationship with, you know, the daughter, honestly.
Oh, you're totally right. It's the best relationship in the film. It's developed and feels organic.
And it feels, and you like them. You like both of them. Here's my one gripe is that I just didn't like her. I didn't like this daughter character. And I don't feel like she changed. I don't feel like she learned anything other than just being sad.
It's hard to like a character like that, or to get behind a character like that, when you know that they're a device to grease it, to muck up the wheels, right?
Yes.
You know the character is there
to
make sure that this doesn't go the way it should.
Right.
So that's a hard character to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they tried.
They did.
They did, but it just
they use tricks like she likes Gita, she likes the kids, she's trying to protect so they pile on all of these likable traits, but in the end that character is designed to make sure everything goes wrong.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's almost, I almost wonder if it would have worked better if they didn't try and make her likable, and that she was just kind of like a bratty kid.
Yeah.
That was irresponsible.
Right.
And that got everybody in. And so then her arc would be learning responsibility. And I think that might actually kind of plug that hole.
Yes, absolutely. That's such a good point, for sure. And I wanted it. I just was like, is this really gonna? Yeah.
Yeah. But Bautista was great. His character was solid. I love the fact that, and this is something that Snyder does really well, that you don't really see often, is he can do a complete backstory. in in the opening trailer, essentially.
Yes, I know.
All the way back to Watchmen. You know, he can. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm watching a movie right now, and it's just visual after visual, and you're watching how the characters are developing. You're watching relationships change and form within just a few minutes. I mean, that is just purely masterwork, and I think being able to do that is so powerful.
It's absolutely powerful, and it takes it's a skill. That's a really big skill that you think you just go shoot a bunch of shots and then we'll put it together and people will get the story. And that's not necessarily the case. No. And I think that Snyder's one of those that just really masters that.
Yeah,
that skill.
It's a visual storytelling at its best. I watched that scene multiple times because I'm taking notes. Like okay, this is how you like. I'm learning watching a zombie heist movie, which for me is a treat because you don't sit down thinking you're gonna watch a zombie heist movie and walk away with a few more tricks, you know?
Right.
So let's talk about the fact that everybody on the internet's kind of going crazy about aliens and robot zombies and multiple timelines. And I want to get your take on it, and then I have my 2 cents.
Okay, so my take is this is what it's going to start looking like moving forward, is that everybody wants to build a universe. Everybody wants to build, every studio wants to do it, every director wants to do it, all these people want to do this universe element because it just garners such a strong following and an audience, and they know they can make multiple projects and it will always work. So I feel like those were the seeds of this. This is like creating this Snyder universe that he did not get to do probably in DC, but now he can do this way. That's my thought.
Well, you're absolutely right. You're nailing it on the head. I mean, that's what it is. Here's my concern. This is kind of when I have new writers come in, or writers I'm teaching, and they're writing a film or feature or even a pilot for television, I tell them, don't save the best stuff for the second episode or for the sequel. Put your good stuff in that first episode or for that feature, so that you can grab the reader and really make sure they're invested, so that you can entice them into optioning it. Because if you're busy writing for the sequel, you're leaving all the great stuff out of it, and we're just getting backstory, and it's just very boring. And so my worry or concern is that new writers will see this and think, oh, that's what I should do. And so then new writers are going to be developing their own, MCU properties and not realize that they're actually writing themselves into a reader or a producer saying no.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's you can have that desire, and in your own mind as you're writing through that first draft or the first one, build that backstory in your mind and take notes with it, but don't necessarily not put a lot of that into the first one and just think that, oh, this will be for the second movie or the third movie or the fifth episode, or you've got your 10 episode arc already done. But no, you really have to, you're right. You've got 60 pages for your pilot or 80 to 100 pages for your feature, and it better be well established in those pages.
Yeah, I've had students and clients write trilogies.
Yeah,
and had never shown anybody the first one or entered into a contest, never got feedback. They just love the story and they just wrote a trilogy. And I'm like, well, it's good practice, and maybe you can cannibalize that. But if you're not writing something that is definitely going to get out there and people are going to want, then writing 2 more follow-ups to it isn't going to do anything except give you practice. So it's important to know, like, that type of development process works if you're Zack Snyder.
Sure. Right.
Or any of these other guys out there that are established and know what they're what people want from them, and have a studio behind them. Right. Money is there, and the money is telling him, we want a universe. Give us a universe. Then create a zombie film that has everything littered in it.
Yeah, that you've got, there's little ways to go here and there. There's little seeds planted for you to take wherever it grows.
Yeah, my one thing is there was not a lot of resolution. So I mean, I don't know if you spotted it. So in the very opening scene with the cars going down the road and the army, the battalion of army vehicles, there were 2 lights in the sky.
Yes.
that follow them, and then we never see them again.
Right.
What are they? We don't know.
Right. Yeah. Was it military or was it not? I mean,
was
I know
it
that's
aliens?
the big thing. Yeah.
They talk about aliens, and then of course there's the robot zombies.
Yes.
Right.
Or
what is that?
And the baby. What's going on there? I need to know that answer.
Yeah,
and
we need the
next
baby
one just to find it out.
Right. And then there's the whole time loop theory, which I thought was fun. It was very tongue in cheek. I thought I thought it was cute what they were doing. It was a great great comedy, you know.
Right. But he put it in there because when they're looking at those dead bodies, you know, you see her necklace on one of the dead bodies, and so you're like,
in the same scarf and things like that.
Right.
And then I heard that there was a table full of dead bodies as well, wearing the same stuff. So then people are theorizing, oh, maybe they're on their fourth try in the time loop. So it's interesting, it's fun, and stuff like that is great for the fans. I like to believe that it wasn't thrown in there haphazardly, that there is a plan.
Right. There's a purpose for it.
I hope. Yeah. Otherwise you can potentially write yourself into a corner.
Or you just did weird things to do weird things with no follow through, right?
And that as a development process makes me nervous.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
I think there is a plan. I know that that's probably what's coming. We might not know it right now, so just let the audience speculate. And again, that's what they're going to do. They're like, what is everybody going to think? How are they taking it? What's the feedback? All right, which direction do we go? How do we feel? Like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things too where, I mean, a lot of the deaths were off screen. So the French girl who was the coyote, we don't see her die.
Right. We assume, but
we don't see it.
Right.
We don't see the safecracker die. We don't see Gita in the die. So there are several people we don't see die. And then the big trailer at the end of the gentleman who's I can't remember his character's name, but he gets bit and he's on the airplane.
It's on the airplane.
That's like a long time before he turned.
I know.
So you're like, okay, that's the biggest plot hole in the movie.
And what's going on? And why is he going to Mexico? And then let's go to the next most populated city in this.
So you start kind of going, okay, yeah. So you go plot hole, or is something else going on? Yeah. So, but in general, it was a good popcorn film. Do you have anything else that you want to chat about this one?
No, I mean, I thought it was, like you said, a good popcorn movie, just fun. Really, yeah. For me, it's like expectation is that's what I got exactly what I expected, and I was happy with that. Yeah. And I liked it. It was a good time. It was just, there was a lot of fun things, and visually it's fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I guess they're going to be coming up with a sequel, an animated film. So they're already branching out there to do like an animated prequel, which could be interesting.
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
And they're going to be bringing in some characters from the animated film that they'll roll into a direct sequel live action. So yeah, they're definitely
or a series. I could see a series coming out of it.
Yeah. So they're definitely rolling forward, which then makes me start thinking, okay, is the zombie genre making a comeback? Because it was super popular, and then it kind of evened out. And you saw less and less of them. The Walking Dead's been going strong. Well, I can't say strong, but The Walking Dead's been going for about 10 years now.
Yeah, it's on season 10.
Yeah. So now you start wondering, okay, is it going to make a little bit of a comeback now with the zombie genre?
And if they do, it's going to go in this direction. It's going to go in a more sci-fi, action kind of direction versus being a,
straight up horror,
or, drama horror, which to me, Walking Dead is kind of more dramatic than horror. Really.
Yeah, it really is. It is. So it's more about the people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The zombies can be very much set dressing.
Right. Yeah. Right. The people are the Walking Dead. Like, and in this case, again, these guys went in like the army. So it wasn't that the zombies were the army. These guys were the army. So who's really the dead people here?